Okay, so this one is a tricky one. So here's what I want you to think about. What does A and B look like? Okay, I'm going to just draw it in very lightly. A and B looks like that section. So now, where are you if you are not there?
A and B.
You can be anything except. Does that make sense? Do not go there, but you can be anywhere else. So think about the space and then not that space, okay? So this one says you're allowed to be, you have to be inside A,
But not B.
but you can't be inside B. So what does that look like? So this one says not A. So again, can you visualize it if you shaded A? Visualize the shading of A. So if you shaded A, now shade everything that's not that. Everything that's not. So you can't be in A, but you can be anywhere else. Okay, does it make sense where I'm shading? Okay, so this one again, I want you to think about the brackets first. Bed mask, kind of brackets. What does this mean? A or B. So can you visualize what A or B looks like? I'll put it yellow. Okay, so A or B is like this. A or B is all of that. So what's not that? What's not that is just the outside stuff, right? Ooh, this one is weird. Okay, I'm going to do this separately. What would I look like if I was just A? Ooh. I would just do that if I was just A. What would I look like if I was not B?
Just in there.
If I was not B, I'd be that. Okay, now this says or. So what do I shade if I'm an or? I shade everything that was ever shaded. So if you touched it, you include it. So did we touch that outskirt? Yes, so we got to include it. What else have we touched? We've touched all of A. And we've touched all of A. Did we ever touch this section? No, but we did touch the overlap somewhere, right? So if we touch the overlap, we include it. Or means anything that you see, you got to make sure you include it. Okay, so this one I'm going to do separate as well. What does not A look like? What does not A look like? What would your diagram look like if you had a not B, not a B? So B outside of B. Okay, this is an and statement. So now I'm looking at both diagrams and I'm saying which sections got shaded in both diagrams. Where have I shaded both? I think I can say the outsides for sure. Let's do that. They got shaded in both. Is there anything else? A didn't and it did, so that's not going to work. No overlap. This was and then it wasn't. So that's it. That's the and part. Okay, so does this make sense where I said or if you've shaded it anytime it gets shaded? When you look at the and, it has to be shaded in both, right? All right, so now, not A, okay, well, we actually just did this one, right? Not A, not B, not A, not B. So this is an or statement. So when you talk about or, if you've shaded it at all, anywhere, it gets shaded.
So anything with or, everything that touches will be shaded.
Anytime there's a touch of something, it's included. Yeah. Okay. So have we touched every section? We've touched the outside section. Here we've touched the part of the A. Here we've touched part of the B. There's one thing that we never ever touched. We've never touched the middle, but everything else we've touched somewhere. So do you see how I'm using my logic here? Okay, so what am I doing? I'm probably going to put some of these on my cheat sheet. All right, so let's try this one. Okay, this first question says A and B. So this is the overlap. It has to be in the A and the B, so it's the overlap. Should I tell you how many numbers I see in there, or should I list the numbers that I see in there? List, so squiggly bracket, I see a 6 and a 12. Okay, not A. So really, I need you to not look at A, and then you can put anything else. So if I covered up A, what do I see? And I'm making a list. So squiggly bracket, I see a 1, 3, a 7, and I also see the 9.
Are you allowed to wear ripped jeans as a teacher? You don't know?
I don't know. Okay, N. So I just want a number. So how many things do you see? So let's go, what does A or B look like?
Every.
A or B is this. A or B is that, but then I'm not that.
So 1.
So what do you see?
1.
Just the 9, right?
No,
Is
that
that?
says the number,
Yeah.
like the number of. So
Yep,
okay.
just one. But what do you see? All you see left is that number 9. So one item. Okay, this one is making a list. So I'm going to do a squiggly bracket. you're an A, but you're not allowed to touch B. So visualize this A bubble. I'm in this A bubble, but I can't be in there. Can't be inside B. So there's a 4 in there. So I'm listing it. So I write 4. Are you okay if I just kind of go down here? I'm going to just tell myself that's a squiggly and that's a squiggly. All right, this one says A and B. So that's that overlap. We actually did it here. We did it up here, 6 and 12. But this time I'm just saying the number of items. So if we saw the 6 and the 12, that means we saw 2 items. A and B, are you visualizing A and B? This is A and B, but I'm not that. Anything else you see that's not in that section though. So what do you all see? I'm going to list it in number. I see a 1, a 3, a 4, a 7, and a 9. Not that. And I'm listing everything else I see. A or B. So anything that's touching inside A or B, and you're listing it. So what are you listing? You're writing all these down except for 9 is not in this list. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 12. And the last one says the number of items in A. So here's your A bubble. You anywhere inside the whole A circle. How many items do we have? 3. The 6, the 4, and the 12 are all in there. So 3 items. Okay, we have a 20 student class. There's my universe. I have choir and I have band. "13 take choir, 8 take band, 5 take both." I really like one thing out of that.
5.
5 take both because, boom, I know where to put that. 5 take both. Got that. Okay, 13 people are in choir.
13 subtract 1.
Subtract the 5. Okay, do you get why I have to subtract the 5? These 5 people are in choir. Yes, they happen to also be in band, but I'm counting them as my choirs. So do you see how I have 13? Done. 8 people take band. So I need 8 in the band, but I already had the 5 people. So 3. How many don't take either? So can you add that? What does this add to?
16.
16, but we had the class of 20. So then there's 4 people on the outside of this. Good? Are you counting with your fingers? Or?
Do you have nail clippers?
I do in my car.
Cass, do you have
What?
nail clippers?
I don't have nails anymore, I have gel.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
Because my nail is going into my skin and it hurts.
Um,
And it's happening on my toe too.
Okay,
So my toe bleeds sometimes.
we have, so we have 50 people, students, and then Android or Apple phones. So this is what I start with. There's 50 people. I got Android and Apple choices. Okay, I'm going to read something and I know where to put it. 5 don't have any of these devices. So I'm going to do a 5 in that. What is the number, total number in the bubbles then?
45?
I need to have 45 in the bubbles. Okay, so let's look at our numbers. 24 with Apple, 25 Android. 24 and 25 makes 49. Can I fit 49 people in the bubble? No. So what does that tell me? There's an overlap. How much overlap?
4, 3.
No, you're right. The overlap is 4. And then we go, Apple was 24, so I need 20 to go with that 4. And then 25 on the Android. So then this is a 21 to go with the 4. Does that make sense? Okay. How many students have only have an Apple phone?
20.
There, that's your answer. Right? Because 24 have that Apple phone, but only because these 4 have the other device as well. Okay, here's a situation. M means all math classes in high school that are offered for credits. A applied, P pre-calc, E essential. List a subset. What are some examples of subsets? You have to belong to something else. I'll give you an example. Applied is a subset of math. Is there anything else you could have done?
Pre-calc is a subset of math.
Pre-calc is a subset of math. Essential is a subset of math. Is there anything else? Can essentials math be a subset of pre-calc?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. This one's a little bit confusing. The number of items. Okay. Not S. So here's what I want you to do.
I'll count everything I saw.
Can you cover up S? Cover up soccer. Forget soccer. How many things do you see now if I cover up the soccer bubble? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did you count Mary? 8. The number of items I see. Okay, ooh, this is gonna have to make us list something, by the way, this next one. V or B. Can you visualize what that looks like? Volleyball or basketball. So this is this. And then I'm not that.
Sue and Mary.
Sue and Mary. That's what you got left. This is the or. If I'm in or, I'm anywhere in here, but the not. So Sue and Mary.
That's the names of Sam's, Cassie's
Sue?
Yeah, Susan.
Do you have an Aunt Susan and an Aunt Mary? There you go.
Like 100.
You have too many relatives. There's probably every single person on here is a
Yeah,
relative.
she has a cousin Riley.
I have a cousin Jim, cousin James.
That's where I got this question from.
I have an Aunt Jess.
And then I threw
cousin
myself
Mary,
on there
Aunt
as well.
Susan. I have Aunt Mary.
I was just
have
trying to
Uncle
make
Joe,
names that were like small amounts of letters to write.
And Uncle Joe. And,
Yeah, teacher named Marcy.
Marcy.
Okay, I'm in S.
But not B.
I'm in S, so I'm visualizing this whole S circle. Okay, so there's my S circle, but I'm not allowed to play basketball.
So, Sue, Jim, James, Marcy.
Sue Jim.
So that is gonna have to be gone, right?
Wait, you cannot be in B. Oh.
I have to be inside, I have to play soccer, but Al and Tara are basketball players as well, right?
Yeah, but what about James and Marcy? They're in volleyball.
Yeah, but
Just in soccer?
you have to play soccer. You have to play soccer. So right now, I've already committed just to this. I have to play soccer. But I'm not allowed to play basketball. So then now that eliminates those two people.
What about May?
Oh, sorry. Yes, also her.
Yeah.
Okay, there. I've covered it all up now. I'm all tricky. So that, and then those people play basketball like that.
Yeah.
So Jim and Sue. Number of items in V. So look at the whole V bubble. Just narrow the V. How many are in there? 7 people. S, soccer or basketball. So soccer or basketball. Here's what I'm looking at. Soccer or basketball. I can look at anything in that. Counting, you counted 10, Kingston, is that what you said? 10 things, 10 people. Soccer and volleyball.
Jim.
Who are in the soccer and the volleyball?
Jim.
3 people. So you got to list their names. Do you see
They're
this
also in
overlap?
basketball.
And that's okay. Does Al play soccer and volleyball? Yes. He plays soccer and volleyball and basketball, but that's okay. Because I just need you to play soccer and volleyball. So Jim, Al, and Tara. Okay. I'm just going to kind of like map this out here. Volleyball or basketball would be this. Can you visualize volleyball or basketball?
But you can't be.
But I can't be that. So after I cover up that, who is left?
2.
I have Sue
Mary.
and Mary. That's it, right? So 2.
Can we disperse them?
Okay.
No.
I'll do more later.